Here's the thing. At the end of the day, woman, the most valuable thing you want from a man is love. And the most valuable thing we want is respect. And now, if we do something wrong, we are in danger of losing that respect. Yep. And we're going to do everything to cover that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why men lie.
That's not a good
excuse.
Okay, go ahead.
Wouldn't you feel more comfortable with, like, if you were in a relationship with somebody, right? Let's say you get cheated on, right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically. Yeah. And you got to go find from the streets that your girl was doing buffoonery. Instead of your girl coming to you and be like, hey, babe, listen, this is what's been happening. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I messed up. Mm-hmm. Would you take it differently if she told you to your face or if the streets made you look some type of way?
Yeah.
Either way, the result will be the same.
For you?
For women, I'll speak from my experience. For women, it's different. Okay. I would, if we're in a relationship, I trust you enough that I'm never the type of girl that's like, you can't go here, you can't go there. Mm-hmm. Go out there, have respect for the relationship and me. Mm-hmm. That should be enough for you to do what you want to go do. Okay. Because if you're going to go and do something, you're going to think, yo, my girl, I love her, I respect her, I'm not going to do that. Because that's going to make her feel some type of way. It's going to make her look some type of way, right? So for me, when my man didn't do that at that time, and I had to find out from the streets what he did, that made me look at him different. I was like, you're a liar then, because you're gonna look at me in my face and tell me you love me, but then you did this 3 days ago? Well, so this entire time you've been lying.
Okay, and that's what break up.
Then let me go. Then let me go.
But they don't want to break up.
No.
I don't like that.
If you see something out there that is more satisfying than what you got at home, masalami azul.
Hey, please.
That's it.
Maybe the one
I'd rather you literally tell me, yo, let's go. Like, I'm done. Let me.
Okay, but that's what if I was nice and said, I want to keep you, but I still want the same.
Oh, no. Women with standards are not going to allow that.
No,
see, there you go. See, that's why they got to lie.
No,
because
that's
I just say that's why they gotta lie. That's why they gotta lie.
No,
because a lot of men is just not gonna settle for one woman. I mean, not a lot of
men. Then don't get in a fucking relationship.
Exactly.
It's literally that simple.
Yeah. So
don't be in a relationship if you feel like, you know what, you got eyes out there.
Right.
Google your eyes. You know what? If you have been checking every single one,
what if they want two?
Hey, come on, translation.
Asmani.
Ada samek. Like it tomato to Asmani.
Why?
It's my tip.
No.
It's real facts. If you know for a fact that you are not willing to settle with one person, stay single.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
You're ruining other people.
Exactly.
You're ruining other people.
No, that is
not every...
you're literally going around fucking people's mentality. People who are actually out here genuinely looking for someone to settle down with.
No, I could
and
see
you
that.
say like, why are you? And you're fucking it up for the next person. Because now I gotta walk around insecure as shit.
Bulletproof vest on.
Bulletproof vest on. You know what I mean? Like this. I will not believe what this next man tells me. Oh, baby, I'm just out here getting food. In my head, he's talking to a bitch. Period.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh no, he's getting food with someone else. There's a female over there.
Well, it depends what type of man you got. Do you got a high quality man or a low quality man? If you got high quality man, he's gonna run into other women.
What do you consider yourself? What do you consider yourself?
Come on, Joe.
What do you consider yourself?
I want more than one woman. I always want.
Okay, but do you consider yourself high quality or low quality?
High quality or something.
Hey.
But so are you not contradicting yourself?
How am I contradicting myself?
Because you just said it depends on if you have a high quality man or a low quality man. If a man wants to deal with one female. You have a
low quality man, he got no choice but to stick with you.
That's the
completely BS.
I was gonna say.
No. I'm gonna tell you something.
Yes.
Really,
no. So hold on. What do you mean by he has no choice?
I was with somebody.
To stick with one.
Right,
listen, you talking about high quality, low quality? I'm gonna tell you right now. I was with somebody.
So you're okay. Go ahead.
We were friends. Yes. We were friends before anything. He wanted to be in a relationship so badly, and I was just like, no. We were just better off friends. You know what I mean? Came from a rich family. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, after a while, I was like, you know what? Let me give it let me give you a shot. You know, you got everything. Everything was lit. You know what I mean? I was a princess when it came to him. Then what happened? You know what happened? You know what happened? No. You know what happened?
He's like,
What?
You want to know about high quality, low quality?
right. He was high quality.
He was high quality, right? Mm-hmm. But someone who was cheating on me with freaking prostitutes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Low
quality.
Exactly.
No,
It's not
you
low
was
quality.
cheating on me.
It is.
So, what do you mean?
Prostitutes not necessarily.
No.
It is.
Listen.
It is.
What I'm saying is, listen.
That's to you is low quality.
Listen, it is low
No,
quality.
it
Man,
is.
that's a freak. That's not low
Let
quality.
me finish what
Oh,
I'm saying.
God.
Let me-
No. That's not.
Do you hear what he just said? He said maybe they can do what you cannot do.
Yes.
I'd rather him cheat. He can cheat with anybody. But why
me
go
out
pay
of
for
it.
sex?
Why be in
Why
a
go
relationship
pay? Leave me
in
out of it.
general?
Leave
Because,
me out of
because
it.
there is no emotion attached after that.
Take that in though.
That's
They
cool,
can
but
fuck and leave.
That's what one
But you
night
just
stands
heard what
are
she
for.
said. You mess up the
But
next
you-
female for the
Exactly.
next man.
No, but, like,
So
he's
why
not
be
hearing
in
what
a
I'm
relationship in general
Not even
if
that.
you?
So
But
I-
if you think
so
about
the
it,
part of-
why go pay for sex when you can just go fuck anybody?
Okay, so remember when earlier I was talking about the part of.
I can answer that.
No.
but go ahead.
No. What's it called? Is that we're going in a circle? So it's like what's it called? Remember when earlier I was talking about like the guys that has money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do that. So basically, what you said. So in a sense, like when it took you a while, right, to say yes to him before, right? Yeah. So when he wanted you at that time. Then it was like, okay, I've been chasing. Now God is like, whatever. Because at that time he was more invested on trying to either as like as you say as a friend. Because if a man wants something right away, they're gonna go after it. They're gonna show whatever they can. But once I chase you around from Canada to America or Africa, whatever, by the time I get there, and I was like, hold up, I've been chasing this and this is whatever. And then now I was like, basically my mindset changed because yes, I could chase you, but if you put me on the friend zone, leave me there. Because if the friend zone, as much as you want, it's like leave me in the friend zone. Because once you take me out of the friend zone, and then how's you guys friendship after that?
But the thing is, he
yeah.
wanted
Yeah,
me when he was in a relationship.
Correct.
And then after the relationship, and I still just continue to just.
Okay, so
Listen,
so he told you
I know,
You
but
want
that's
to
why
do
I
what?
brushed it out.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
brushed it out for so long though.
Yeah.
But think of it,
But-
6 years of knowing each other.
Yeah.
6 years of knowing each other.
It's right there
I'm
in
not
front of your face.
listen.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying I brushed it out for a very, very long time. It's not like we just got into
Correct,
it after.
no,
You know
I'm
what I
saying,
mean?
yeah.
I
Correct,
saw what it
no,
was.
that's the
It is
reason.
what it is, right? But now,
Yeah.
no, there's no communication whatsoever.
That's my point.
You know
Because
what? But I'm not the type of person who holds any type of animosity. You know what I mean?
yeah, but that's not
I
the
don't.
thing though. What happened though is like that friendship. You know how sometimes you could say, "Oh, I want to date my best friend." Like basically, you want the person to become your best friend in a
Yeah.
sense, not actually date your best friend. It's like
Right.
you want the person to become the best friend. So in that sense, it's like okay, when it's like I'll be dating somebody and I'm looking at that person. And then I'll be like, man, I'm just in a relationship, but if I wasn't, I'll be hollering at you, You know, so it's like...
Finding your urges, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
No, I'm just saying, though.
See,
I'm just giving
You
an
can't
example.
There
I'm
is no ex that I have right now that does not want to get back together. I promise you that.
No, that's not the
No,
with that. But
no,
I'm just
but
saying,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you know what?
You should. What are they coming back for? You gotta ask that. Because
Wahala.
what are they coming back for? If they're coming back right now.
Because I was never the fucking problem.
Okay.
You
so,
sit there.
So maybe they regret it. Are you saying they haven't regret?
No, they are regretting 100%. They are.
Yeah.
Because why? Like I said, I never ended in bad terms. Like I never hold animosity towards anybody. You know what I mean? Like if you fuck me over, I'm gonna let that marinate. Let it marinate, and you gonna spin right back around and figure out what the fuck you did to me. And you're the one gonna be crying, calling me at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, talking about, oh baby, I want you back.
I guarantee you they're gonna do it again.
No, but the thing of what I'm saying is...
They stay doing
no,
it.
I'm just saying, no, if you took them back, I guarantee
I feel like
you
you
they're
just
gonna
screamed.
cheat you.
It goes over everything.
No, basically what I'm trying to say...
huh?
So So basically, what I'm trying to say is like,
It's too
like,
funny.
once that, because basically what happened, like you said, that you guys' communication is no longer exists, right? It's like you obviously forgive him whatever the thing is, but the reason now, because he was close to you, instead of being that friendship, I mean the best friend, like in relationship, you lost, like basically you both lost two people. You
He
get what I'm
did not
saying?
Yeah,
lose.
no,
Yeah, no,
He did not
no,
lose.
no, they
He fulfilled his ego. Okay,
Oh,
he
yeah.
been chasing.
Yeah.
He been chasing. He probably just wanted to hit that.
Yeah, no. Oh, the question I got for the female, right? Why is it whenever you guys have a relationship, there's no God, but as soon as you guys get off a relationship, all of a sudden you guys have God, you guys think about God, you guys want to be celibates, you guys want to do all this stuff like that you guys didn't do in the relationship. You know, Jesus show up out of nowhere, you cut your hair, you do all that stuff. So yeah, I'll start with you.
Sorry, me.
Yeah, I kind of got that question, you know?
I don't think that it just comes up out of nowhere. You've always had it in you. Like, that's not just a thing that's just like, oh, now all of a sudden, because I went through a heartbreak, I'm all of a sudden spiritual.
But okay, so the
You know what
reason
I'm
why,
saying?
but the thing is, you guys show your spiritual part once the relationship ends.
That's because
And
you're
the-
trying to heal.
But
That's
hold
like
on.
a healing process.
No, but the reason why I say, okay, like, you telling me the whole time, because it's like, all of a sudden, oh, I need God, God first, you start going to church. When you were the guy, you weren't going to church. And when you
No,
were
no,
the,
no,
yeah,
no.
when you were the,
Necessarily, that's not true.
no, yeah,
Are you
yeah,
talking in general?
yeah, I see,
Okay,
I see,
go ahead.
I see,
Because
after all.
now I'm talking for me.
Okay,
So
go
we're
ahead.
talking in general.
Okay.
So go ahead, carry on with
No,
it
no,
in
no,
general.
go ahead, answer your
No,
question.
but how do you know?
Exactly.
You're not with me all the time. How do you
Because
know?
for
When
me,
I
it
talk to
was
my
like I
God
was
privately.
still
How do you
going.
know?
I
I'll
was
get to
still
you.
doing my spiritual stuff. I was still doing all of that when I was in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. There's a
You know
reason
what
them
I'm
two was
saying?
laughing.
So there's literally like I don't get where you're going at with this question because you're making it seem like now that you went through a hard time in a relationship, now all of a sudden you're like,
God.
oh,
Yeah.
and
No,
it's
but I feel
not
like
that.
no, that's what it's like.
I
literally-
can't save you from this.
Huh? No, I don't need saving. I need that. I don't need saving.
That's
no.
not how it went at all, and it's not how it goes. Like, it's not like
So,
it's. Go ahead.
so okay. So you're saying, right? Okay, because earlier he off camera when he was talking about like we know how girls control like the sex,
Yeah.
right? Say in a sense like all of a sudden, because why is it like okay, like not saying obviously after you break up you could jump into the next person or whatever, because obviously you gotta go through the change. So if you decide like you say okay, I'm not gonna have sex for a year or whatever, what is your reasoning and what is the backlash that you got from it?
From not having sex for a year.
Well, what did you learn from it, or this like because you like okay, I'm gonna be focused on me.
Right.
I'm not gonna do this.
Right.
So is it based on like you're doing the year or 2 or 3, whatever you decide to do, right?
Right.
Are you doing it based on changing you, or are you doing it until you see somebody that is gonna make you
Oh, it's based on changing me.
okay?
Why would I do it just okay, so and this is why I say this, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I do it, it's based on changing me because it's a whole lot of other stuff I believe goes on when you're having sex with somebody that's not really your person. You know what I'm saying? So when you're going through that healing process, you need to like get rid of all of that in one. So in the process of doing that, let's say I run across somebody that I'm like, hey, I like you, but I'm trying to change as a person. I'm not gonna throw that all away and all that hard work and be like, I'm gonna sleep with you.
That's real. That's
Okay.
real.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
chastity right there. That's preserving yourself.
Yes.
So that's what a lot of relationships go wrong when
Yeah.
people just put out too early on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
And then
you
they
need to
wonder why
go
the man
completely
just took
through
off,
that
you
healing
know?
process
Yep, that's real.
to get to know yourself
That's
again.
real.
Oh yeah.
And
That's what
that's where a lot of females and males mess up. They see somebody they're attracted to or somebody
Temptation.
comes their way that they like and they're like, oh, I'm going to just throw this whole healing process out the way. And now you're messing yourself up all over again. Now you got to start it all over again. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a continuous cycle because a lot of people are not aware of that.
Okay, so in a sense, so based on what you're saying, so would you say somebody that is on God, they were either in an abusive relationship, mental, physically, whichever, because there's levels to abusive relationship.
Yes.
So would you say if that person, cause say they're going like basically on what you're doing, like the sexual, and then the person that what's it called? If you don't fix that, would that be where am I trying to go with this? Hold up, sorry. I lost my train of thoughts. I had a question that I wanted to ask. But no, so I guess what I'm trying to get at, you go in celibacy,
Yes.
and then like it's based on healing all aspect of the area of your life, right?
Yeah.
So celibacy could be, like I say, a year, 2 or 3. But then it's like the trauma never heals. Because the trauma shrink. It doesn't, you never get over the trauma.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So when would it be the right time you're like, okay, I could get into a relationship, and how do you know, I mean, like to get back into that relationship, because you could be like, okay, I'm healed from that, because I did the celibacy, I'm done, whatever it is, I feel like I'm ready. But then, say, for example, you're in an abusive relationship, right? So you focus on the celibacy, and then maybe you got over some certain traumas, but then I do something that reminds you of that thing.
Right.
Now it triggers you back to whatever. Did you actually heal, or did you just...
But that
My
also
thing
goes through a
is-
test, and I'll say this because I went through it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
I was, and I
Sorry
remember
about
the
that.
first time.
Yo, come on, man, what are you doing?
I remember the first time. I think this was like maybe like a year later that I was like, you know what, I need to let go of this because it was affecting me physically, mentally.
Oh,
Like I
that's
shut
so
down
crazy.
completely, and this was somebody that I was like, you know what, I'm into him, he's into me. Let's see where this goes. And I remember like we went out for dinner, and it was just as much as just him hugging me, and I literally broke down crying. He just touched me, and I freaked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was trauma to me, and that's just because it was a man touching me in general. You know what I mean? But I feel like just going through that though let me know mentally that you know what, this is how you're gonna heal. You gotta go through it
Yes.
to get yourself together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like he respected that, and after that, like talked about it. He understood, and we went together step by step.
Yes.
You know, so that's what it is. Sometimes you have to face it. You have to face it. Like regardless of how hard that you could sit there in the room and be like, I got this, I can do it, I can do it. But the moment you walk out there, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I agree, because I also went through the same thing, right? But I feel like a lot of it has to do with, being able to forgive. And if, when I say forgive, I'm not saying like forgive that person, because they don't care. They're going to do whatever they want to do to you and move on with their life.
Correct.
The only thing that it's hurting is you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't let it go, I'm not saying let it go and forget that it ever
Correct, you
happened
cannot.
to you. Because like you said, that trauma is always going to stay there with you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying if you're going through that healing process, I feel like forgiveness is a big part of it, because you're setting yourself free from that chain that was holding you. You know what I'm saying? So when the next person comes in, it's also kind of a reminder that, okay, this is what the last person did. Let me talk to him about it. And if he continues, okay, now this is something that's a continuous thing. I don't want to deal with it.
Sure.
It also helps build you as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, okay. So the forgiveness part, as far as like, how not forgiving the person, I mean, this could be like a personal thing instead of like individual thing, because you say
Right.
forgive yourself.
Yeah.
But then I look at it, you forgiving yourself, because you could be like, in a sense, whatever they did.
Well, I'm
I
not
wouldn't-
saying like forgiving myself. I'm saying the forgiveness is to help you.
Correct, because
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So the reason why I
Like-
say, because when you say don't forgive like the person, in a sense, like that's why I say I would make it. Go ahead, because you said forgive, but I
She
wanted to
didn't
make
say
sure.
forgive the person.
Yeah.
Correct. That's what I'm trying to get to.
I mean, you just
You
need
just
to
need to
forgive.
forgive in
Just
general.
forgive.
Correct.
Forgive.
You know what I'm
and then
saying?
move on. Or find a way to move on or past it or through it. Right? That's what
Right,
she's trying
because
to
that
say.
trauma is always gonna.
It's gonna always be there.
But it's like if you forgive, it's like they don't care what they did.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They already moved on, but you just need to learn how to do that.
Coping.
Basically
It's coping.
accepting,
It's
Yeah,
accepting
like
what
this is what
happened
happened.
and having to deal with it. That's what it is.
It's just coping with it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a part of your day-to-day
Yes.
interactions with people,
No matter what.
right? So
You know
you're gonna have to learn to cope with it. How am I gonna, if someone touches me, like, let's say you get touched, right? That makes you uncomfortable. It's like, how do I react to it?
Yeah.
How do I deal with this? Okay, this
And
person's touching me. Are they trying to hurt me or am I good? It's like fight or
Yeah.
flight,
Correct.
Yeah.
right? So that's what you have to fight through in terms of
And I
coping.
feel like going through stuff like that definitely helps a lot of females with building and controlling their emotions. You know what I'm saying? Females that don't know how to cope with that and haven't gone through that, act in an outrage because they haven't gone through that healing process yet. If you go through that healing process, you know how to control your emotions. Let's say something comes back that triggers you. You know, okay, this is not the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go crazy right now, but trust me, baby, when we get behind these doors, I'm going to hand myself to you real good.
Yeah.
You know, it helps a lot of females in that sense where they're like, okay, let's say you're out in public. It's the whole situation we're talking about. You can't let everybody know what you and your significant others are going through. Let's say you guys are out for dinner and he said something or did something that just hit a spot. You can't sit there and freak out in front of him. And everybody that he's around, because now that's disrespecting him. You know what I'm saying? So it helps build that what am I trying to? There you go. To where you can just be like, okay, I'm just let it go for right now, and we can talk about it later, or even go up to him and be like, hey, can I talk to you for a second?
Okay. No, that was my question. You guys could continue. Cause no,
got questions for us?
No, yeah, cause the reason I guess the what I got stuck at, cause when you say forgive, because the reason why I was trying to say individual, because in a sense of like, yes, you're forgiving, because you're forgiving the situation, or you're forgiving the person without even talking to them, because you could do that. So that's why I was like, when you say forgive, because you could be forgiving like an abuse, you're like, okay, I went through the abuse, whatever, because it's like, that you didn't see that from the beginning, right?
Right.
Or you're like, okay, you know what? I forgive the person. Whatever, I'm gonna heal, I'm gonna figure out, because it's for your own good, obviously, because they're living their life, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why is like, if you're forgiving that person or that situation, there's obviously like, the thing is not gonna go away, but if you don't forgive fully like that person, in a sense, I feel like there's gonna be trigger.
Oh yeah.
You know, until you like, because you like, you don't have to communicate with them. You could be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go through, like you said, the journey. I'm gonna forgive them. I'm gonna forgive whatever it is, and I'm gonna look at the part what led to that. Because the thing with forgiveness too, you gotta look in the mirror.
Right.
Because the thing is, I feel like everybody's like, oh, I forgive you or whatever, and then quick, as soon as something happened, you jump back. Did you actually forgive? Because you didn't look in the mirror and say, okay, what part did I play?
Right.
Not saying you playing victim, but you also play part on what led to whatever
and
it
that's
is. You know?
allowing them to continue to hurt you.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like that part, if you don't look in the mirror, you could forgive all you want, but you find yourself back in the same situation.
Yeah.
Because you didn't take care of yourself first, like, okay, I forgive the person, I looked in the mirror, but also what I play my part, role in this thing leading to that, or when they disrespect me in a sense, I'm like, hey, like, don't do this. And you continue to do it, right? And then as I don't do it, then it's like, now you're like, okay, I'm not accept, so now it's like, okay, you didn't do the part you're supposed to do,
Right.
so. But go ahead, no, it seems like you got a question?
No, I'm
Okay.
just listening to you.
But anyways,
He's listening
so-
now. I
yeah,
know.
so-
I don't want to say anything right now.
No,
because this is too emotional.
no,
I wanna say
that's the reason
something
why I
right
asked the
now.
question. 'Cause
I
feel
cannot
like-
say something.
Go
right
ahead,
now.
say what you want to say.
I cannot
Why
go
not?
I feel
without
like
them.
I got something to ask, because you know what? You
Oh.
started off. What did
Go
you?
ahead, go ahead.
No. You started off this with asking what women want. I want to know genuinely, what do men want?
Go ahead. man.
Actually, no. Even for you, do you do that? What do you want in a woman?
What do I want in a woman? I can't say it because, like I said, if I say it, they're gonna take that and then apply it
I'm asking
to
you.
show it to
No.
show.
This
Yeah,
is me.
to
You.
show,
I'm
yeah.
asking you personally. No. This is me asking you personally. What do you want? Because you came for me first. I'm coming for you right now. Speak your truth, Yazoo.
Huh?
Kalim.
Yeah.
Go on, Miguel, but- This is about to get real.
Yeah. No, well, obviously, like, what I look in a female, because I used to think I want somebody that could almost do the same thing that I can do, in a sense of, like, I'm a goal-oriented person. Like, I want things that I want to accomplish. I'm, like, striving for something, right? Then I looked at it, I was like, okay, if I have the same thing, if I get the same person, then there's nothing that I'm going to learn new, because we're doing almost the same thing in a sense. So I read that. My whole thing is I want you to be able to communicate with me, right? That's the main thing. You got to be able to, have an intellectual talk. I mean communication, like not just talk. Like we got to be able to go from A to B, like you stimulate me in different level, right? That's one. And then two, the respect aspect of what he was saying. Because the respect aspect is I'm gonna give you. Because the energy might, for you know how they say female energy when you come in, she's not doing, you feel like she's not giving you the things that you're supposed to, you're supposed to get. You gotta see what she's doing. But also, I could give you those things, but if you give me back that negative energy, sooner or later I'll reciprocate that. Because then I'm like, yo, man, I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, because that could be from providing or whatever it is. But in the same aspect of like, I'm gonna be busy. So you gotta find something to keep you busy. You get what I'm saying? Because if you expect me to be there for you, like, I'm gonna be available emotionally, in a sense, but I might not be there right away or in the moment you need me. If there's something like, oh, okay, like I'm going through this, I'll be like, okay, hold up. Like at this moment, I might not be able to give you the energy, the full attention. Can we table that down to like later on? Where I could be like, okay, see, this is the reason why this, because obviously as a guy, all they want to do is want to solve problems. That's our gift, solve problems. Girls got problems, we just solve them, right? But if you come in with emotions, am I wrong? Am I right? Correct? Am I? So in a sense, your mother.
I know it does. You call me too.
Yeah. So in a sense, it's like that's like so communication, respect, and then like I feel like you gotta be able to challenge me, and then also be there like what's it called? Off camera when we spoke about like the backbone. So there's gonna be times where I might forget who I am, based on maybe there's so many things happening. And you gotta be like, maybe sometimes the king of me is just sleeping, and you gotta remind like, yo, who you are. So wake that person up, because it's like that could be because I'm not gonna I'm not expressing myself to no female. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this. No, I'm not doing that. You gotta be able to, as my partner, you should be able to know, okay, this thing is not like, why is your energy this way, and then not even ask me and try to figure out what's the things that to get me out of that.
Yeah.
Vice versa, I give the example like say, okay, I got a female. I'm dating, and then you're like, oh, I like this. Like you're looking through like, what's it called? The things that you want to buy. And you're like, oh, I like that clothing or whatever. By Friday, as a man, because I know who you are, you wake up on Friday's there.
Right.
Vice versa, I could be playing around, be like, yo, you know what? I like that shoes. I'm just playing around just to see if you're gonna. Then it's like 2 weeks later, the shoes pop up out of nowhere. I feel like, okay, you pay attention to like the things, even though it's not a big thing, it's just that attention, But I feel like that's in a sense you could go ahead.
All right, well, I just got a quick question.
Yeah.
No, this is real. I know I've been throwing some fucked up shit over there. No, but I've seen. Now I can really see like why you guys' perspective about Africa may change, but other than that, I'm just saying, what's the main reason you guys are deviating from your original culture? What is the main reason? Because that has a lot of effect to the way we are communicating.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned earlier, they have the desire for you to reflect their mothers. You know what I'm saying? The fact that this is not happening is causing a lot of complication. So my question is, why the deviation away from that culture? And that's why I feel like I gotta go back home and marry for life. I'm sorry to toss that at the end.
But that's the question.
Like me personally, I feel like what I said earlier, that's one.
Yep.
But also at the same time, I think I'm just at a point right now that, not to sound disrespectful,
Hey, say what you
I'm just really not trying to live the way my parents grew up.
course.
I'm not about that.
Okay.
Like even the whole dowry situation, I'm not here for it. I'm sorry, manish. I'm not here for that. Listen, I'm gonna be with my person for me. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would
Like, let me love that person because I love that person. I don't care about none of that outside bullshit. I really, really don't. And I think that's major to me right now. Like, I've had a couple of people come up to my family talking about, oh yeah, I want to marry your daughter, blah, blah, blah. Mom be like, why not? Why not? And I'm like, really?
But
Just
according to
because of
the
that?
culture, that's the right way to go.
I don't give
because
a damn about that.
Before you even meet the girl, just for the respect of the chastity, you're supposed to meet the dad first.
But the thing is,
Because the
me,
energy will be different.
I am heavy on energy. I'm gonna tell you right now. Me, I do not give a damn about what your pocket look like,
Okay.
what you drive, how your house looks like. None of that.
Yeah.
me, I'm heavy on vibes. I meet you, if we freaking click, we click. If we can talk, conversate, everything is good right there, we go 100, we're a buck.
But
You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying, there are good
No.
aspect of that too. Like if you meet a guy, you got the good vibe, you should make sure that he meets you there, like in a sense.
No, 100%.
Because after that,
But then
it's
again, you also have to
different.
remember,
It's
not
different.
everybody that you meet is going to be enough for your family.
It doesn't matter.
No matter what. No,
So
that's
they gotta-
facts.
they
That
gotta
is
meet,
facts.
though. They
Your
gotta
parents,
meet. They
your
gotta
parents
meet.
will always have that high expectations for you. That is not for me.
Yeah.
What my parents want is not what I want.
Exactly.
As long as my heart is happy,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's what it is.
So
And I agree
And I'm
with
going
what
by
she's
that.
saying
Yeah.
because it's like after the wedding, after everything, the only person that's gonna have to deal with your partner is you.
Period.
It's not your parents, it's not your mom, your dad, your cousin,
But the
anybody.
reason I'm
But
saying
the
that,
fact that I get what you're saying, they should come and meet the family.
Yeah.
But let's say the family is like, no,
it's okay after that.
you know,
It's okay after
and you're
that.
like, this is my
The
person.
problem
though.
is when you skip that step.
Can I say something?
Because once you meet
No,
the
that's
dad, okay,
Yeah.
let me finish this.
Okay.
Once a guy, I'm talking from a guy perspective, I got a daughter, I'm coming. If I meet the dad, look the dad in the eye, you know what I'm saying? I would treat that girl different after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I never met the guy, the dad or a strong male figure in that girl's family, I can feel like I can run over her. You feel me? It's different. That part is very important
I feel
because
like
now
that's
that there is chastity
Okay.
involved, you know what
Okay,
I'm
so
saying? You show respect.
So what you said, what you're saying is correct, but the way you're looking at it is, that works back in Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not gonna work. So the way she's looking at it is here.
That's,
So
that's
what
why I'm
you-
tying it to the
Yeah,
culture
so
diversion,
even
deviation.
even with the culture thing here now, that is not even gonna work because it's not, because the thing is, it's like as much as like, yeah, you got a daughter, right? She's gonna date somebody before you know.
Exactly.
So that
But
part
I
of
get
so
that.
that part of like the dude coming to you, she probably not gonna be able to do it until where she was like, okay, the guy look at her like, okay, you know what, you're the woman of my life or whatever it is. I want to meet the people in your life,
Yeah.
right? Because like if you look at it, culture wise, if you date a white girl, you know they're most likely to get us to meet their families.
That's what
You get what I'm
happens.
saying?
And you know
But-
that the relationship
yeah.
is a lot
Yeah,
different.
but- yeah,
and
but-
that is crazy to
Yeah,
me
so-
because like the white girl I have met,
Yeah.
like white girls I have met in the past,
Yeah.
they made sure I meet their family,
Correct.
shake their dad's hand.
Correct.
So
But
now the way I treat them, I reflect on that. Like, hey, this is somebody's daughter, it's a reminder.
correct.
But then
But-
dating Sudanese girls, it feel like they deviate, they keep me away from
Okay,
the
do
family.
you not know
And then now when things
Go ahead.
when things go wrong, like I have not built that connection with her enough, like with her parents.
No, it's
Do
about how
you-
about I
that-
want you. I want
that
you to be
is
the
hard.
man that. I want you to be that man when you meet my family.
All right, go ahead. No, go ahead. Tom.
That's the truth.
What do you want
So,
to
so
say?
the man is not good
Huh?
enough, basically.
No.
No, I don't. Like, I even forgot, honestly. Like, do you not think that it's like the cultural pressure that we have that makes you think that we don't tell our parents that we're dating?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, now they're gonna know. But you know, like, obviously when you're in high school, you go through like what teenage people do, which is like you are attracted to somebody, you do have a crush. There's no conversation in the African community that tells you it's okay to date and what dating looks like and the
Yeah.
proper protocol, like to call it a protocol, or the proper procedures for how to go about it.
Yep.
There's nothing like that in our community.
That is
So maybe that's why you think that women are deviating you from your family, but it's
Yep.
also because in a way the top priority for a lot of Sudanese parents is that your child graduates and has a degree.
Yeah.
And then marriage is next,
Yeah.
right? But it's like, if I have my degree, but I'm lonely, I have the job that I want, and I'm lonely, does that make sense, right? You know what I mean? And even the way that the conversations, my cousin got married a couple years back, and that was her fiance, but my aunt still called him her friend.
Yeah.
Imagine, right? Like, that's your fiance, soon to be husband. Until you become my husband, you have no title,
Yeah.
right? So maybe that's a conversation that needs to be had in the community, where it's like, that's why we're deflecting from having that with you. Does that make sense?
And then
You know?
another thing, sorry, before you continue. So it's like, I'll use me as example. And I'll use like, my little brother, Tom, when he started dating. First thing he did, bro, he brought the girl home. and I went off on him. I don't do it. You don't do that. And he was a willing man. No, because the thing is, what is our parents gonna think? As soon as I bring a girl home, what is it?
We're getting married.
Automatically.
It's marriage.
That's
You
it.
get what I'm
That's the
saying?
line.
It's
So
real.
I was like, yo, for as long as I've been dating, have I ever brought any chick home? He said, nah. And I was like, there's reason why I haven't. You know, until I know for sure that's the female, because to them, the culture is like, yo, well, as soon as you introduce me to this girl, now we gotta figure out what's next. You get what I'm saying? They don't, because to them they understand this. They don't have the aspect of dating. You know, we the one who live in this and what's it called, Western world. We understand the aspect of dating. To them, it's like, yo, man. That's why, like, if you date a girl that say you date a girl that we could be talking. To them, if the mentality is back home, you're dating. You get what I'm saying? Because and then if you bring them to, if you brought them, introduce them to the family, they think, oh, maybe I'm getting married next. Not understanding, it's just an introduction to like, yo, man, get to know my sister, get to know this, get to know that. So that's the reason, like, when I say with white parents, one of the reasons they introduce the kids, like the girls introduce the guy to the thing, is more of a security.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly
So
what
that's
I'm talking about.
basically what it is. It's more of security.
And that's why I feel like that's why a lot of abusive relationships is taking place.
So it's more
because
of
they skip that step. That step is actually more for the protection.
so it's more of a security of like, okay, this is the dude, whatever. But then for ours, our family, our parents don't allow us to do that. You get what I'm saying? Like she say, okay, this is the guy I'm dating. Now the family is gonna lose it. Right? Where is he from? What is that? It's like, yo, man, I'm trying to tell you so you guys know when I'm not here or whatever it is. This is the person that you guys could reach to. You know, that's the reason. That's the way they're coming in. But the parents are gonna see it. Yo, man, you're supposed to be, like she said earlier, you're supposed to go to school, graduate, do all this, and then after that do the extracurricular.
But
You know
here's
what I'm
the question: we can use that excuse.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna step up the community for right. The Asians are doing that. The culture is similar to us, but they're coming here and maintaining their culture.
Yeah.
What is the difference? What do they have that we don't?
You gotta have to bring an Asian
For
person.
reality. No, that's
Coming
the
from
question.
someone who works with all of them,
Yes.
my friends, that's who they are. But no, that they are like that. Like, majority of my coworkers / friends
Yeah.
been in relationships throughout high school. The same person they did in high school, they're engaged,
Yeah.
getting married to
Yes,
right now.
they are. They're
They're
staying in the culture,
But
why?
because
What's the
once
difference?
they date, they know for a fact they're with that person forever.
Yeah.
They're not having this
So
whole
you
dating game.
you see where I'm coming with this. So that makes it that culture might not actually be a bad idea at the end of the day if you look at the big picture. Your
Well, no.
likelihood of getting married and keeping your chastity.
I
is
don't
a lot
believe
higher
that it's
with that
I don't
one.
believe it's a bad idea. I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, we're not
I get what you're
disagreeing. I'm not
trying to say.
disagreeing
But
with
I
you,
think
I'm
I'm
just
trying to say that especially for like my generation coming up, we are more aware of what's happening. You know what I mean? And we are more westernized. I say because
influenced,
and I'm born in a first world country. I'm born in Canada, so that's the only understanding of life that I know.
Yeah.
So when I see that my friends are going around like they're having Thanksgiving dinner with their boyfriends, I could never.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could never in my life bring my boyfriend to my parents' house for
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the standard though, right? And I don't know if it's like I don't want to call it a double standard, but speaking from a Sudanese woman's perspective, you are held up here.
Yeah.
As soon as you do something to drop that, you're never coming back.
Yes,
Right?
it is.
So
Yeah,
it's really
that's what the
so
diary
that's
comes in,
and
that's
for
the
security.
pressure,
So
yeah.
that's where I find that it's really hard to like even just to date or just to even be out here and be like, oh, I'm into this guy or oh, I'm into that. You know, like you're not allowed to have that.
Yeah.
Keep your head in your books. Keep your feet on the ground until you're ready. When you're in your
Next thing
30s,
you know, you're pregnant.
exactly.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? But
You
a
can
lot of them happen because there's no conversations that are had in our community
Yeah,
about
basically
it.
they're not having enough
Even and if you really
conversation.
think about it, the generation that first came here, like first generation to come here with their kids, right? Like you guys.
Yeah.
Y'all never had conversations with your parents
Hell
about
no.
what was gonna happen and the
No,
conversation
maybe my family is a little different because I did know. I guess you could call it sexist
okay.
because I did introduce my girls to them and they accepted.
Okay.
But then my
Repeat what you just said.
my stepdad is saying, Hajat bit security kissing and Hajat didn't
It's not
do it.
it's not okay.
Yeah, you can bring her, it's okay.
But
just
just
use
but
it.
repeat what you just said.
And
You said
then,
what?
but then if a girl If a sister would have done that, that would have been
exactly. So it's really
maybe
hard.
that's the reason. It's harder for you girls. So
it's
that's
really hard to have those conversations too. And like even now, like the conversation of marriage, right? Like of course, like in our generation, a lot of my friends are getting married now. A lot of my friends are having kids, but I'm like, I don't know how I can go about it. Whereas I don't know how I can bring somebody into my family and allow them in that aspect and bring like do it respectfully. Where it's like, you know what, this is a person that I'm gonna be with. This is my partner. How do we go about it? Are you gonna ask my dad's hand for marriage? Or are you gonna ask the whole family? Am I gonna keep the traditions? I would love to keep some of my traditions. Where it's like, where especially in the Mahdi community, where it's like you have your elders, people that you trust, come sit down, and his people that he trusts, like parents. I want that. I personally want that because it's a bonding of family. Exactly. And I want that because I think that's a beautiful thing. Dowry, not really. That's not for me because I don't think that's who I want to be. Because I don't want to, it feels like I'm being bought. I'm being bought. And
it will exclude certain people.
So
it would like narrow your life.
And that's where I'm like, as long as the person that I'm choosing to be with respects my culture, respects my family, I think that it should be okay for that bond to happen. And I know that my family is very open, especially my mom's side of the family. Like, we're very open about the things that we go through and the things that we talk about, right? But it's like, how can we do that in a respectful way and have those conversations where it's like, hey, this is the person that I think I want to be with. If you want to meet them, this is how it's going to be, X, Y, Z. Because my cousin went through it, and everyone called her really disrespectful. They called her all types of sorts of things because her parents were separated, and he didn't ask the dad, but she doesn't even talk to her. You know what I mean? Like, it was just messy. And then she ended up being the victim of it all because she was a disrespectful Sudanese woman, right? And she had a very small wedding. She didn't want a lot of people. She was pressured into a wedding. It was a lot of things. And she just didn't feel like her community had her back. And I would never want that. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of who I am. And I want to do it in a way that's like, I love my community, I love my people, but you got to love me too. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
So they got to accept that
I'm going to bring both parts. Yeah, exactly. I want to bring both parts.
Accept that aspect.
Yeah.
My family not sucks to be for them. Because we already know what I'm gonna do. Shoot.
Well, I'm gonna keep the tradition.
Yeah, we already know.
But then they gotta
pay dowry, so
they gotta give me 4 of them.